so strongly with destiny through the depths of your essence, but it's in your head. And it's like people outside of your head try and tell you how you gotta be, and deter you from showing up authentically. Get yourself starting to believe the shit, like blah blah blah.
Hey y'all, welcome to Aniyah's Notes. I am your host, AniyahJelisa, tarot reader and artist. Welcome in if you're new, welcome back if you're subscribed. All right, so today y'all, we're going to be doing what makes you inspiring. I do want to say that I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, so thank you all so much who are subscribed to the channel. Just like last time, if you've been here since I hit 1,000 subscribers, once I hit 2,000 subscribers, I will put my entire, well, not the prints. I will be selling prints very soon, but I will do my readings 50% off. So the readings will be 50% off, and I think I'll probably keep it going for about 3 days or so. Just keep in mind that when I do this sale, I will have to limit the amount of readings that are available for purchase, just so that I don't get overwhelmed, because y'all, I have a job, I'm in school, I'm running this business, and I'm adding more to this business. Like I said, I'm about to start selling my prints, so I just have a lot going on. So I want to make sure that I can actually control the number of readings that are booked, so that I can actually get them back to you. Okay, other than that, all the information is down below in the description box. Go ahead and choose your photo and meet me at your reading. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading, welcome to Aniyah's Notes. So today we're going to be looking into what makes you inspiring. Okay, I did this topic on my channel a couple of months ago, but obviously there's way more people here now, so let's redo it. Okay, so I'm going to start by channeling messages from the image that you selected today, because I made the thumbnail ahead of time. So boom, let's get into it. What makes you inspiring? What makes pile one inspiring? For one, I feel like what makes you inspiring is your ability to be different. You guys could have prominent Aquarius placements, but even if you don't, there's just this energy. I get the vibe that you're like different in some kind of way, especially in regards to like humanitarianism or like activism in some kind of way. So you guys could be somebody who is against capitalism, or maybe you are you speak out about injustices, or you specifically like don't shop with certain companies if they support certain things, and you specifically like to give your money to like local businesses, or maybe there's like a race of business that you like to support that's your own, like, you know what I'm saying, or maybe you like supporting like independent artists and vendors and things like that. You're somebody who I feel like is very community oriented. And that's how you inspire people. You inspire people to participate more in their community, and also to be more aware and conscious of the things that are going on around them. Okay. I have the vibes that you're also somebody who inspires people to think outside the box. You inspire people to think outside the box in terms of like what they can do and what they can be specifically. Like if you know somebody who, let's say they have a certain talent, and you know, but they're just working like a mundane job, and they just think that that job is all that they can be, you're the kind of person who would inspire them or give them some type of pep talk. You could also have Leo energy, because I'm getting that like axis of like Leo Aquarius, because they're very similar. They're obviously sister signs, so they have their differences, but they also have their similarities. And I think you could be somebody who hypes people up, and like you inspire them to pursue their dreams, even if it feels unrealistic to them, or even if they have been convinced that it's unrealistic. I also get the vibe that you could be like a conspiracy theorist, and you know that they're not conspiracies, but you know, you'll accept that title if somebody gives it to you. But I get the vibes that like you're somebody who like you understand, like, I don't know, something about like government is important to you. Like you have a deep understanding of like government and Hollywood and how these things work and the ins and outs and what's required. And you know what I'm saying, like you could be somebody, you could be an artist yourself. Like you could be an artist who chooses to stay independent, or to like try to keep as much of your intellectual property to yourself, and tries not to like outsource through like labels or investors or other companies who want to like get a piece of your pie. Okay, I'm also getting that you could be somebody who cares about nature, and that's how you could be inspiring people as well, is through like some type of like conservation efforts that you practice. It could be something as simple as you like, you know, not buying water bottles and trying to buy like reusable things, okay, or like recycling, or turning things that are old into like new, or finding new ways to use old things. You could be into like canning, or living off grid, or like growing your own food. You could participate in like community, like farmers markets or gardens. There's like a heavily like community involved energy with this pile. So yeah, like I just get the vibe that the main way that you're inspiring people is and I just saw 333 on the timer, and I saw 222. I didn't say anything, but yeah, I saw both of those just now, so those numbers could be significant to you. But anyways, it's like this vibe that you inspire people to be, again, just more conscious. There's a deck that I have. It's like the Angels of Abundance Oracle deck, and one of the cards in there is Conscious Consumer, and it just talks about like being intentional about like where you spend your money and things like that. And that's, I feel like you are like, that's your overall vibe right now, is like you're a conscious consumer. Like you're somebody who is conscious of like everything. I feel like you're conscious of the food that you buy, the music that you listen to, the clothes that you buy. Like you might be into you might be against polyester, like things like that. Like you might be against fast fashion. Like you're somebody who, I feel like you want to live life slowly but like locally, and you want to support those who are around you, even if it takes longer or even if things cost a little bit more. Like you're very intentional about like where your support goes and like where your energy goes. Okay, you could also be somebody who doesn't post on social media that often, or like if you do, you just have like your specific platform that you like, but I feel like you're not just all over social media. Okay, or again, if you are on it, it's like a very conscious act where like you're using social media to promote something that's bigger than yourself. Okay, you might be into like nonprofits or like grassroots funding, like things like that. I just get the vibe that you're very like tapped in, like you're very grounded, you're very down to earth, you're very much like here to be on the right side of history. You know what I mean? Like you're here to push forward certain causes and also to push forward your own purpose and your own cause, but in like a conscious way where you're not like having to explore other people or step on other people's toes or lie and steal and cheat in order to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're somebody who wants to do things the right way, even if it takes longer, or even if, you know, you don't reach like mainstream success. Like you're okay with that as long as you can sleep with yourself at night, and like you're you know, okay with like the decisions that you made, and you know how you contribute to your community and vice versa. All right, so that's what I have for the image. If that's resonating so far, then definitely go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so that you can join the team and catch this vibe. Now let's pull some tarot, okay? So Spirit, what makes pile 1 inspiring? What makes pile 1 inspiring? Let's see. Spirit, what makes pile 1 inspiring? What makes pile 1 inspiring? First, we have Death and the Empress. Okay, so this is like Scorpio, Libra, Taurus energy here. Death and the Empress. So what makes pile 1 inspiring? I almost said impressive. 4 of Wands. Let me get the cards into the frame. 10 of Cups. And one more, please. I be wanting y'all to see the cards sometimes, because sometimes it'd be like certain flips. I'm like, I wish they saw that. And then we have the Tower. Wow, the Tower. And also the 3 of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers. Also Major Arcana. Okay, so this also Gemini energy showing up in the reading. So give me a second. Give me a second. Let's see. Spirit, what makes pile 1 inspiring? Something that makes you inspiring, pile 1, is that you're not afraid to start over. You're not afraid to start over. You're not afraid to build something from scratch, especially if you get new ideas or you have new understandings of something, or you get more resources and you're able to just like take something further. You're not afraid to like literally destroy something to start something else. Because with us having Death here and then the Empress, you know, the Empress represents like fertility and creation and divine feminine energy. So to have that right after Death, there's like this energy that you're literally not afraid of like rebirth. Like you're not afraid of like ending something to quite literally create and birth something else. And then we have the same thing here displayed through the Tower and the 3 of Wands. Again, you're not afraid to destroy something and then go off and expand in another direction. You can be somebody in your life who has had a lot of starts and stops, or a lot of rebrands, or maybe you're somebody who is very multifaceted as well. With the Lovers here and this Gemini energy, you can be very multifaceted, multi-talented, and you could have a lot of different why the siren? I feel like it'd be so quiet, and then as soon as it gets recording, now there's hella emergencies and the sirens, and it's like, girl, I mean, save the day, yes, but damn. Anyways, like I was saying, okay, there's this energy that people have seen you go through transformations or rebirths, or like maybe you were pursuing one thing and then you did that until it ran its course, and maybe you eventually felt like it wasn't really growing anymore, or you discover something else that you wanted to try or that you felt more aligned with, and so you scrap that first thing to start the second, and like you're able to keep going with this. And what's interesting about this is that a lot of people might say that you don't really stick to anything, or that you might be non-committal, or that you don't follow through with your plans or something like that. But in reality, every project that you start or that you do, even if it doesn't end up being something that's like really long term, it still ends up adding to your avoir, essentially, of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you avoir pretty much means like all of an artist's work combined. So it's like, even if, okay, let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. Let's say that you start painting, right? And it's like, okay, I want to be a painter, and you paint for however long, and then eventually you discover graphic design. It's like, actually, I want to do graphic design, and so you end up like switching from painting to mainly doing graphic design. Somebody could look at that and think, oh, this person was never committed to painting, or they're too all over the place because they do more than one. They have more than one medium. But you, even though you may not be like a painter current day anymore, the skills that you learn from painting, the connections that you made from painting, the money that you made from painting, all of that still flows into your graphic design. And then that still flows into who you are as an artist, right? Okay. Not saying that you actually are an artist. That was just an example. But it's this energy of like, even though you try out different things and different techniques, different skill sets, you guys might have started different businesses, or maybe you are an artist and you tried out different mediums of expressing yourself. Even if these things are different, or even if these things change throughout your life, they still add to who you are as a person, and they still add to the foundation of your life, and like what you've done or what you've created, or like what is building your success. Okay, with the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Wands, it's like there's definitely like still a solid foundation that you have built through these like transformations, through these deaths and rebirths. Okay, with the Lovers here, I also feel like you have really come to become one with yourself. Like you're not disconnected from yourself. I feel like when you were younger, you might have been disconnected from yourself. Maybe you felt disconnected from yourself, like you didn't really know who you were. But there's this energy that throughout the time of you going through these transformations and these rebirths and these rebrands and all these things, it brought you closer to who you are. And I feel like also part of that is understanding that you are multifaceted. That's also how you are inspiring other people, is by being multifaceted. Some people, like I said, there's this energy of like some people thinking that you're non-committal, or that you don't stick to things, or that you don't finish things, and they're looking at that in a bad way. But you're actually really inspiring to other people like you who are multifaceted, and you express this energy without really even saying anything, that like you don't have to be boxed in. Like you are capable of doing more than one thing. Okay, a lot of people say that term, this like that phrase where it's like, oh, a jack of all trades is a master of none. But I think the ending of that is like, but better to be a jack of all trades than a master of none, or something like that. So basically it's this energy that like, you know, people try to downplay you essentially because you might seem all over the place, or your energy might seem scattered, but in reality you're really good at a lot of things, and that's a good thing. And that's inspiring to people who are also good at a lot of things, and are also, you know, constantly trying to be told that they need to put themselves into a box. Okay, so that's what I mean. Like you're very like you just have this like eccentric, or like not following the status quo, not following trends, not listening to society type of energy to you that is very inspiring. Okay, so let's pull some oracle cards. I feel like my voice is like all over the place today. Like I sound kind of congested, but I'm not congested. I don't know. I did eat some Wendy's last night. I don't really be eating fast food, but I was hungry, y'all, and everything else was closed. So I did get that Wendy's. So maybe that's where like there's probably some mucus from that. And sorry. I'll drink some green juice in a minute. All right. That's too many. I don't want that many. I don't want that many. So let's see. Spirit, what makes pile 1 inspiring? The fact that those took a minute to come out, I was also getting that you take your time with things. You could be the kind of person who likes to grow slowly and steadily. Like, I feel like you're the kind of person where you do stick to things. That's what I was saying. Like that non-committal energy doesn't really feel like that's who you are. That more so feels like people's projections. You actually do stick to things. It's just that you're able to, I feel like you've done so many things that you're able to tell when something is worth investing into or when it's not. And like things that you find worthy of investing into, you will keep at it and you will like stick with it long enough to see some growth. But if you determine that something is not, you know, maybe you change your mind, then you change your mind, you know. You inspire people to know that it's okay to change their mind as well. I'm also getting the vibe, before I read the oracle cards, because I haven't looked at these yet. I don't know what these say. I just, you know, have them in my hand. But outside of that as well, I'm also getting that in terms of your relationships, you could inspire people because you're not afraid to leave. It's giving I love them and I leave them. Like you could be somebody who is you're a lover and you're genuine, you're authentic, but if you start dating somebody and you realize that like, okay, this is just not a line, this person doesn't seem like they're for me, or I don't like the way they act, or I don't like the way they move, or at the very least we just aren't compatible, you'll leave. Like, you're not the kind of person to stick around trying to force something to work. And I feel like that's in all aspects of life. Like, you're very much like, it's very interesting, your energy, because it's like you're go with the flow, but you're also very intentional at the same time. You're very hardworking, but you're not gonna like force things. It's like this very intricate balance of like, I'm going after something, but I'm also accepting what's for me and letting what's not for me exit stage left. Okay, moving on. Your oracle cards are, I love control, wish I had some. I love control, wish I had some. And then being out of ideas is just another idea. Being out of ideas is just another idea. Yeah, pile one, I really wouldn't be surprised if you are like an artist of some sort, regardless of what your medium is. Because I get the vibes here that like, being out of ideas is just another idea. I feel like you have so many ideas, and that's what I was saying. Is like, you're very multifaceted, you're very multi-talented. There's a lot of different ways that I feel like you have expressed yourself over the years, or there's a lot of different businesses that you tried, or you worked in a lot of different industries, or you dated a lot of different kind of people. Like, there's just this vibe that there's like variety to you, and like you use that variety to your advantage in order to not only to build yourself up as a person and like to learn a lot about yourself through your experiences in the world, but also like this is really added to your sense of creativity and intelligence. I feel like you come across very smart and very cultured, and part of that has to do with because you've been in so many different spaces, or you've, like I said, you dated a lot of different people, or you have a lot of different kind of friends, or you try to live a lot of different businesses. Like, you have a lot of wisdom that I feel like kind of goes underappreciated by certain people, because again, they just assume like, oh, if you haven't built an empire off of like one thing, then you're not successful. But you have actually learned so much through like all of your small experiences, or all of the things that led you to the point that you are at now. Okay, another thing I'm getting with this, I love control, I wish I had some. This is kind of like embodying the energies that I was just talking about, of like, you do control things and you are very intentional, and you do move with like a certain level of like work ethic, but at the same time you understand that like you're ultimately not in control of things that are outside of your control, and so you let those things go. You know, this is like, you're the kind of person where you're really good at balancing the spiritual and the physical. That's what it is. You are inspiring in that way as well, that you know how to, whatever is within your control, you're going to be diligent about it. You're going to be hardworking. You're going to be very intentional. But whatever you realize is not in your control, you're very much like, oh, well, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are very, very good at setting your intentions and like putting out your energy, but then also not taking it personally how it's received, or like what you see in your reality. Like, you're very good at manifesting as well. I feel like you can inspire people through your manifesting abilities, but the reason why you're so good at manifesting is because of this ability. You're very good at working with the resources that you have in front of you materially, while spiritually realizing that you are not in control, and like spiritually surrendering at the same time. It's a very like intricate balance of, again, like control and surrender that I feel like you have mastered, and that is one of the prominent ways that you inspire people. And again, even with that death and rebirth, it's like you understand like sometimes things are just ending, or they're not meant to be in your life long term, and you're able to accept that and then pour your energy into doing something new, or into trying something new, or just growing. Okay, very, very interesting. Your energy kind of feels like a plant. It feels like a plant where it's like, you know, I'm accepting when it's time to bloom versus when it's time to shed these leaves, when it's time to just hibernate, and when it's time to grow. Like, you're very good at like going with the flow of the universe, while still, you know, again, setting your intentions and putting out the energy for what it is that you want, okay, at the same time, and being yourself, and being somebody who fights back against the negative ways of society, and being somebody who's an activist and who's willing to use their voice and willing to express themselves, and who doesn't allow themselves to be boxed in by society. So overall, you come across as a very cool person. You seem like a dope person, Power One. But yeah, like the way that you're inspiring is mainly through, I don't know, there's a lot of things, but can I think of a word to culminate this? It's like, I don't know, let's just say you're multifaceted energy, because there's so many things, I can't think of just one word that encompasses everything that I've said so far. So we'll just go with that. So if you're from Power One, comment multifaceted, okay? Because you are inspiring people to be multifaceted, to be themselves, to not fit themselves into a box, okay? So that's what I have for you, Power One. If you enjoyed the reading, definitely go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can join the team and catch this vibe. Other than that, I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, pal 2. Welcome to your reading. Welcome to Aniyah's notes. So today we're going to be looking into what makes you inspiring, okay? Just to let you know, if you skip the intro, I am going to be doing half off on all my readings once I reach 2,000 subscribers. And right now we're at like 1,850-ish. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But other than that, let's get straight into it. Okay, so first I'm going to channel some messages from the images that you selected. Okay, so the first thing that I'm getting when I look at this and how you inspire other people, or what makes you inspiring, is that you put yourself first. Like, this image is very much giving main character, okay, passenger princess. You put yourself first, pal 2, especially if you're a woman. There's this energy that like you might be breaking generational curses through this. Like, you could be somebody who is childless, like that's coming through. Like, you could be somebody who's like purposely childless, or even if you do have a child, maybe you stopped at like a small number of children as opposed to the people around you, or even if you do have children, maybe you have like help, like you have a nanny, or you have a housekeeper, or you hire cleaners, or there's something here about you like doing or like arranging your life in a way to where you don't have to self-sacrifice to take care of somebody else. Okay, so this could also be that you decided to not get married, or maybe you decided that you don't want to be in a relationship. Like, there's something here about like you specifically trying to curate your life to where like you are able to give majority of your energy and your free time back to yourself as opposed to giving it to somebody else. Okay, you don't have to be a woman for that to resonate, but women are typically the ones who are like taught to self-sacrifice for like family and other things. So yeah, but I'm getting that. I'm also getting that you could be inspiring people to leave their hometown. I don't know if you moved away from your hometown. There's like this energy of travel here that I'm getting. So like, you could have left your hometown and now you're inspiring other people to do the same thing, or you could have left your country altogether, like your home country, and moved or immigrated to another country, and you're inspiring people in that way. I'm also getting that you're inspiring people to like shoot for the stars. That's what I'm getting. Like, you inspire people to like shoot for the stars and to like go after their like wildest or biggest dreams. You could be somebody who maybe you in childhood were taught that like you can't amount to anything, or you have to just like work a job and just be okay with that and just like work and go home and that's all your life can be. But there's something here about you rejecting that notion and deciding to like put yourself out there, or to do something that is out of the blue or unorthodox to other people. And I do feel like it's worked out for you. So this could be something, it could be literally anything. With this particular picture, I am getting modeling. So some of you could have become a model, or you could have like traveled to different countries to do like art of some kind. Some of you all could have, maybe you're the first one in your family to go to college, and maybe you, instead of just getting like a regular bachelor's degree or an associate's, you went, you know, high, and you wanted to get a master's or a PhD or a doctorate or something. Some of you could also become like entrepreneurs, and maybe you could be like the first entrepreneur in your family, and you know, that's made you wealthy, or you're on the path to becoming wealthy from your business. There's something here about like you doing things that are like small-minded people tell you that you can't do, or that is unrealistic. Like, there's something here about, yeah, like people trying to convince you that like the way that you live your life, or the dreams that you have, or the goals that you have, are unrealistic and or selfish. Okay, like I feel like you get shamed for the life that you live, while at the same time, the same people who shame you for it are kind of envious, because if they had the ability to do what you do, or to live the life that you live, they would, but they just don't believe it. So they, I don't know, it's like this cognitive dissonance thing of like them like trying to still not believe it while you are living proof that it is believable, or that it is possible. Okay, so it's easier for them to like tear you down than to accept the reality of what it is. But this is the exact same thing that makes you inspiring to other people. Okay, I specifically get the vibe that if you are like an aunt, or if you're like an aunt or an uncle or something, like if you have nieces and nephews, your nieces and nephews are inspired by the way that you live your life, or the choices and decisions that you've made. If you do have children, your children are inspired by this as well. Or just like I get the vibe of like younger people. Okay, some of you guys could be teachers. Like, maybe this is really specific, so don't take it if it doesn't resonate, but some of y'all could be teachers, and some of y'all specifically could be teachers in a different country than you're native to, and like maybe you're teaching them your native language in a different country or something like that. Or like maybe that could be how you have provided for yourself while traveling abroad or something like that, like teaching. Okay, some of you all are also photographers. Take it how it resonates, right? If that's not you, then don't worry about it. But I am getting the vibe that some of you are definitely like models or photographers or like filmmakers or actors. Like there's something here about like being on camera or being seen for sure. Like either being the one to capture images or being the one in the image is significant here. Okay. So yeah, that's what I have for you from the image. If that resonated, then definitely go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. So I'm going to pull some tarot. So let's see, Spirit, what makes pile 2 inspiring? What makes pile 2 inspiring? What makes pile 2 inspiring? Okay. I'll show y'all. First, we have the 4 of Wands. Let's see, Spirit, what makes pile 2 inspiring? This is the Ace of Wands. What makes pile 2 inspiring? We have the Ace of Cups. What makes pile 2 inspiring? We have the 8 of Swords. And one more card. We have the King of Cups. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess, period. So what makes you inspiring, pile 2, is, again, it's really your ability to like still believe in yourself despite naysayers. I feel like pile 2, you could have come from like a background that was potentially low income, but even if it was low income, it's not even just the fact that it was low income, because that poverty creates its own like struggles in itself. But like I really do get the vibe that like people were really hating on you or really trying to sway you away from your dreams or sway you away from your goals. Like people really wanted you to just like work a regular job and just that's it. Like, or even when if it comes to like higher education, they wanted you to go into like a specific major that is like maybe in STEM and you wanted to do something that was creative, like, or there's just this vibe that you were really like people really tried to like put you in a box or make you insecure about your dreams or goals or try to convince you that these things were unrealistic. And I feel like it wasn't just one person either. Like I feel like a lot of the people that you met in your life when you were younger, or maybe this could be currently for you now and this is like where you're going in life, is towards like these big dreams. But I get the vibe that like people really wanted you to just like give up on yourself or not believe in your dreams, not believe in your goals. And the main way that you're inspiring is that you really don't listen to that. You don't care. Like I'm specifically seeing, I feel like this has a lot to do with your family and your friends specifically. And I feel like there's a divide amongst people who want you to stay in your place, who want you to just be regular, kind of like handlers almost, like kind of the people who don't really want you to succeed. They just want you to like stay in low vibrational energy and stay in insecurity, stay in self-doubt, stay in lack, stay in poverty, stay uneducated, whatever the case may be. And there's a divide between like those people and the people who are rooting for you to succeed. But I feel like the people who are rooting for you to succeed almost have to like hide themselves. They feel like this energy of having to hide or like not like, there's this vibe of something being here to where it's like they can't like publicly praise you or they can't like publicly cheer you on because it'll like affect them in some kind of way. That's why I get the vibe that a lot of people who are actually supporting you or who are inspired by you are children. And like these might be the kids of people these might be the children of parents who are the type to doubt you or hate on you or try to tell you that you can't be something, or you know what I mean? And it's like their kids are the ones who are really inspired by you. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if this is like family specifically. It doesn't have to be, but I just really get the vibes that this is probably, even if this is not specifically your family, I feel like it could have started from your family. And maybe you have friends who are like this too, like people who, you know, they claim that they support you and they care about you and they want the best for you, but like every time they give you advice, it's always to do something familiar or regular or something that has nothing to do with what they're like. This is the vibes of like my family. They know that I'm a tarot reader, they know I'm an artist, and for some reason, I don't know what language they think I be speaking. Every now and then my mom or my granddad, like they'll send me a link to like a job application for like a hospital or something. One time my granddaddy literally sent me a job application to work for FEMA. My mom sent me Emory. I live in Atlanta, and Emory University, they're basically offering free tuition to students who are going into like specific medical programs, because obviously we're seeing a shortage of like, you know, people going to college and especially medical school. Why did she send me that? Do I look like I want to work in healthcare? I have never expressed wanting to work in healthcare ever in my life. I've only ever expressed wanting to be an artist and a spiritualist, and yet they see those things and think, yep, this is what she needs. You know what I'm saying? And it's just very much like, do we not speak the same language? And you know, it used to offend me. I used to take it personal, like, clearly you don't believe in my dreams. Clearly you just trying to make me do something that you think makes sense, you know, that has nothing to do with me at all. Like, you know, but now I just realize, like, not to take it personal, and that just says more about them and their own mental limitations and beliefs. And so you guys could have experienced like similar things where just like there's just this vibe of like people really not supporting you. And for a long time, I do feel like that held you back. And like maybe for a long time you were not really able to get your ideas off the ground. Like with us having both of these aces, maybe you had like ideas in the vault for a long time, but you were just never able to actually like execute them or bring them to life or materialize them because there were like a lot of negative voices, not only around you, but like internalized in your own head as well, that convinced you that like your dreams were unrealistic, or that made you feel like imposter syndrome, made you feel like you were dreaming too big, or there was just no way that you were going to be able to do something. But with the High Priestess here, and oh my gosh, underneath the High Priestess we have the Queen of Cups, and we have the King of Cups here. So I get this vibe that like over time, I feel like you've done a lot of shadow work, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you've done a lot of shadow work specifically around the emotional wounds from your past, or the emotional wounds from feeling like you couldn't have something, or feeling like you were an imposter, or feeling like you weren't worth experiencing something. And so now there's like this energy that you have of being spiritually in alignment and understanding abundance, understanding, like, I feel like you understand limitations on a subconscious level now, to where it's like you really don't internalize the things that people say. You're really able to see it from a perspective that this is just their mindset. And I also feel like you're at a point now where these things don't even make you angry anymore either, because maybe for a certain amount of time in your life, you were angry that people didn't believe in you, or that they tried to suppress you, or that they told you that things were unrealistic, your dreams were unrealistic. But I get the vibes that you kind of outgrown all of that, and now you're just in a phase where you're very emotionally balanced, and you're pursuing what you want to pursue, and it's working out for you. And like you're building a foundation for yourself with the things that you want to do, with the things that you're interested in, your own passions, your hobbies, okay? With the King of Cups, I just get the vibes that, and the Queen of Cups, it's like you know how to use your emotions to your benefit now. You know how to use connections to your benefit now. And you understand, like, your discernment is really clear. Your discernment is really strong. And you understand, like, who is actually in your corner, who's not. And who also, when it comes to people specifically who are not in your corner, you are able to see who is just like evil and just has nefarious intentions towards you, and who might not have negative intentions towards you, but they just can't help but to project limitedness because that's all they know. So I think the ways that you're inspiring people is not only do you still pursue your dreams despite all of this hate or all of this like backlash against your dreams, and that's inspiring, but there's also another layer to it in that you also inspire people by not holding on to grudges or not taking it personal. Like a lot of people who've been through what you have been through, they will make their whole personality getting back at the haters, or you know what I'm saying, like, sorry, but yeah, a lot of people make their whole personality or their whole motivation for reaching their goals to prove people wrong, or to prove their haters wrong and stuff like that. And you're not even like that. You don't really even, I feel like you don't really look at people as haters. You kind of feel bad for them almost. You kind of empathize with them. You understand why they think like that. And you're just kind of like, I feel like you still want them to be inspired, to be honest. I feel like you might realize that it's not your job to change them, or like you don't need to like go back and forth with them or try to change their mind. But you just hope that, you know, by you being yourself and you going on your own journey, that you can show people that things are possible, okay? I also get the vibes that you could be really, what is the word I'm trying to say? Fond of children. And you specifically want to make sure that the children that come after you, even if you don't have your own kids, you want to make sure that the children who are coming after you have more opportunity, or that they don't feel like they need to be boxed in how you were. There's a vibe here of like you wanting to show people that there's more opportunity out there than they realize. And that's how you're inspiring people. You're inspiring through like your empathy, through your level of emotional intelligence and understanding. Also your awareness of like the subconscious mind and like spiritual laws as well. And overall, just your ability to like not depend on outside validation in order to make it, or in order to believe in yourself. The fact that you believe in yourself despite how many naysayers that you had, despite the fact that you're not bitter, and you still send love to the people who hated on you or who tried to bully you out of your dreams. and the fact that you want to make sure that people who come after you have a more supportive community or like a more supportive environment, those are the things that are making you inspiring, okay? So let's go ahead and pull a few oracle cards to end off the message. I don't want to take those. Spirit, what makes Pile 2 inspiring? What makes Pile 2 inspiring? Okay, that's 2. I was like, how many? First we have don't spend time on it, spend time in it. Don't spend time on it, spend time in it. And then we have not enough, the everyone story. Yes, it's like you have overcome imposter syndrome. You've overcome feeling like you weren't enough. You've overcome internalizing people's emotions and people's projections, people's insecurities, people's lack and limitations. And with this, don't spend time on it, spend time in it. I think you're also inspiring people because you have this like, you have an ability to be very optimistic and to see the silver lining in something. I feel like you're also not the type to fall into like analysis paralysis. People find it inspiring that you're willing to take risks on yourself, that you're willing to bet on yourself. And even if your journey doesn't always look easy or perfect, you're still pursuing your dream. You're still doing the thing. You're still living the life, even if it's not perfect. And people are really inspired by that. People are really inspired by your journey. They're really inspired by also your vulnerabilities. People, you could talk about your story and you could talk about your past and how like certain challenges or obstacles that you've had to overcome. And people find it inspiring that like you're able to power through that. They find it inspiring that you're able to make something out of your vulnerabilities. You could also use your story as inspiration for your own work. Okay, whatever you do. And people find that to be inspiring. You inspire through like this kind of like a motivational speaker, like a rags to riches, like a unhealed to heal type of energy, like a type of journey that you take people on that inspires them. I'm getting the fact that a lot of your appeal is due to the fact that you had to overcome so much, or that you did have haters, or you did have people doubting you. That like adds to your story because it makes it all the more sweet now that you're on the other side, or now that you're doing what it is that you've always wanted to do. But again, there's like this extra cherry on top that you're not doing it for the haters, or you're not doing it to prove anybody wrong. You're doing it because it's simply just what you wanted to do, and you find joy and passion and fulfillment in it. Okay. So yeah, what people find the most inspiring about you, Pile 2, is like your journey, your vulnerabilities, your ability to transmute energy, your ability to believe in yourself, your ability to still remain positive and still send love to people even when they really don't deserve it, your ability to kill them with kindness, okay? Your ability to be vulnerable. Yeah. You're inspiring in like a very motivational way. You're inspiring in a way of like, if Pile 2 can do it, I can do it too. Type of vibe. Like you make people believe in themselves because they're like, you know what, Pile 2 had obstacles, they had challenges, and they still overcame, so can I. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 2. If you're from Pile 2, then comment journey so that I know that you made it to the end. And if you enjoyed the reading, then go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so that you can join the team and catch this vibe. Other than that, I love y'all and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Welcome to Aniyah's notes. So today, y'all, we're going to be looking into what makes you inspiring. I'm also almost at 2,000 subscribers, so thank you all to my new subscribers. Once I hit 2,000, I will put all my readings 50% off on my website. So just stay tuned for my readings over the next couple of days, and then I'll announce obviously when the sale is happening. Also, my birthday is on Friday, October 17th. Tell me my birthday. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, I'm going to start with channeling messages from the image that you selected. The first thing I'm getting that will make you all inspiring, Pile 3, is that you have like a big sibling type of energy. Okay, so regardless of your gender, you have this big sister, big brother type of energy where people look up to like your accomplishments and also just your mindset. Like you could be you could have an old soul, or you could consider yourself to be like mature for your age. And I feel like people really enjoy your advice and your wisdom. Okay, I'm also getting the vibes that you are very much no nonsense, or you could be very strict. Like it's real strict around here. Like you could be somebody who's strict about the people that you have in your life, the foods that you eat, things that you do. You could also just be strict about like how people are treated around you. So you could be the kind of person where you have high expectations for like the relationships in your life, and maybe you're also like a great person to have around because since you have these high standards, you also treat people very well, and like you extend that energy onto others. Okay, you can be very, very caring, very nurturing. Again, it's giving like the mom friend or like a big sibling type of energy, like somebody who cares for the group. Okay, I'm getting that you're the kind of person where like if you're out with your friend and your friend gets drunk, like you're gonna stick around to take care of them. And like most people will probably be annoyed or probably wouldn't invite them out again, but like you give people grace. It's like this energy of like you're strict, but you also are compassionate and you know when to give grace. Okay, so it's like, you know, if you realize that somebody gets drunk, blackout drunk, and throwing up every time y'all hang out, then yeah, you'll stop hanging out with them. But if it's just one time and like you know that your friend isn't typically like that, like you're not the type to like get annoyed with them or to leave them behind, like you will stay and take care of them because you know that that's just not how they always are, and like you would want somebody to take care of you if that was the case. You can be somebody who's very fair as well. So like the main ways I'm seeing that you are inspiring is through like the way that you take care of yourself and the way that you take care of others. Okay, again, it's giving somebody who's very compassionate but also is strict, and you have boundaries and you have standards and you have expectations. Okay, you remind me of like the kind of teacher that like students actually seek to impress. You know what I mean? Like, you know those teachers where it's like you think the teacher's kind of slow and it's like, girl, how did you get this job? Like, if y'all know the TikTok sound, comment down below. It's like, how did you get this job? Because you supposed to be teaching us, but you kind of slow. So how does that work, you know? Then you have those teachers that are like so uptight that it's like, it kind of like kills the morale and like nobody even cares anymore because like people just feel like no matter what they do, they're not going to get a good grade or they're not going to do good in class anyway. So it's just like, fuck it. You have that perfect middle balance where it's like, you're very personable and like people can tell that you mean well and that you're kind and you're caring, you're nurturing, but there's also that like strict aspect where it's like people do also still respect your authority and they respect your intellect, they respect your wisdom, they respect what you have to say. So I get the vibes that you're inspiring in that way. You're inspiring in the sense that it's like you're very respected. Okay, your respect is what inspires other people. People want to be as respected as you. They want to be seen as highly as you. I also get the vibes that people are you're the kind of person where people don't try you. So like you could experience people who are typically disrespectful not disrespecting you, or people who, I don't know, like it could just be something where like, I don't know, somebody's typically really goofy and they always like make jokes and crack jokes on people. They don't crack jokes on you because you'll be very quick to be like, ain't shit funny, like I don't play with you like that, and they'll be like, oh my bad, you know what I'm saying? Or like if this is like somebody hitting on you or catcalling you, like you just kind of have that energy to where it's like, oh, Power 3 isn't going for that. Power 3 isn't on that type of time. You get what I'm saying? Like it's something about sometimes I feel like it's because you have actually like verbally checked somebody or set boundaries, but then sometimes I feel like it's also just seen in your aura too, that like people can just tell that you don't play. Like you just have this vibe that you don't play. Okay, you don't play about yourself, you don't play about the people that you care about, and you don't play about your respect. Okay, you have a very strong moral compass, people can tell, and that's what's inspiring about you. You have a lot of morals, you have a lot of integrity, and you don't allow yourself to be disrespected, and you also don't fall into trends just because they're trendy. Like you're the kind of person where like you gotta move on your own timing, and like if you want to participate in a trend, you will, but you're not gonna do it because you think you need to or because, you know, you're trying to gain some type of validation. I feel like you're very, very secure within yourself and you're very confident as well. And that's what's inspiring. You come across honestly like you don't really need anybody. Like you come across somebody who like everybody needs you or everybody wants to be in your space, but you don't really need anybody, and you're not really like craving anybody's validation, but like people crave your validation. Okay, so again, there's just this high sense of like respect and like honor that you have, especially within your community, people who know you in real life. Especially I'm getting the vibe that this can be translated through your social media as well, but especially people who know you in real life like heavily feel this. Okay, and especially people who are like if you do have younger siblings or nieces or nephews or like friends that are younger than you, like they feel it the most. Okay, honestly, there's even some people that's older than you that still feel the same respect for you, you know, especially like friends, like people who are like they're still like, they're young enough to be your friend, but they might be like a couple years older than you or something. Like even those people still have a high sense of like respect for you, and they can tell that you are very serious about yourself, very intentional. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Power 3 from the image. All right, so if that is resonating with you so far, then go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so that you can join the team and catch this vibe. All right, did I already say that I'm gonna do 50% off my readings when I reach 2,000 subscribers? I think I said that already. Did I? I be trying to say like the announcements in every pile because I know sometimes people skip the intro and just go straight to their reading, but I hope I said that already, okay? Yeah. Also, my birthday is on Friday, October 17th. My birthday is in 2 days, so wish me a happy birthday, you guys. I'm gonna be 26. All right, so let's see, Spirit, what makes pile 3, I almost said pile 2. What makes pile 3 inspiring? What makes pile 3 inspiring? What makes pile 3 inspiring? First, we have the Queen of Wands, okay? Period. Oh, excuse me. What makes pile 3 inspiring? This is the Knight of Cups. What makes pile 3 inspiring? Okay, 3 cards. We have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Nine of Swords and the Two of Cups. What makes you inspiring? Something that makes you inspiring, pile 3, is that you are so picky and you're so selective. I was getting Virgo energy. I was giving Virgo Cancer energy, okay? You don't have to have those energies in your chart, but just like those are the vibes that I'm picking up on very heavily. You come across highly confident, highly secure, okay? Very much, I know who I am. I don't need nobody to tell me who I am. I don't need nobody to give me advice. I don't need help, damn near. Like, it's very much giving very self-sufficient energy, okay? And what's interesting, I didn't necessarily think about this when I was thinking about like what's inspiring. I didn't think that this would come through, but what's actually inspiring is the fact that how often you say no to things. People are inspired by how often you turn down offers, because with the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups, but then the Nine of Swords, I'm getting the vibes that you could be somebody who gets a lot of attention. You already get a lot of respect. We've already established that you get a lot of respect, but I'm also getting the vibes with the Queen of Wands, especially that you get a lot of physical attention. And let me see what's on the bottom of the deck. I didn't even see. We have the High Priestess, period. So you get a lot of respect. You also get a lot of respect because of your wisdom, your boundaries, your standards, the way you carry yourself, all those things. But there's also this vibe that you get a lot of offers because it's as well, and you get a lot of attention because on top of all that, you are very physically attractive here, okay? You're very, very attractive. People are very attracted to you romantically. But with the Nine of Swords, there's like this energy that people are like anxious or nervous to approach you, nervous to talk to you. They don't really know if they'll be good enough. And I feel like you might have your own sense of anxieties as well around accepting people into your life, because you have accepted people who you didn't need to, or you've settled for things in the past. So that also could be why you're so picky now, because of like your past experiences. But I'm getting the vibe especially that like other people are inspired by the fear that you incite. Like I genuinely get the vibes that like there's people who are genuinely afraid of you, and not in a way that like they think you're gonna hurt them or be violent towards them, but afraid of your rejection. They're afraid of what you think about them because you're so respected and you have such high standards and character and morals that people value your opinion genuinely. Like it's not even like a thing of just like this isn't the kind of thing where it's like people are seeking your validation in the sense of like they want you to tell them that they're pretty or they want you to tell them that they're handsome. It's more so like they want you to think that they're a good person. They want you to think that they're smart. They want you to think that they're mature. They want you to see them as your equal. And people get anxious over the thought that you don't see them that way. So a lot of times I feel like you have a lot more options than you even realize, because so many people, again, some people know you personally and that's why they feel like this, because they've heard you say things, they've heard you list out your standards, or they've heard you have conversations. They just know how smart you are, so they kind of feel intimidated because of the fact that they do already know you. But I'm getting the vibe that even strangers, like people who don't even know you, who've never had a conversation with you, just by the way you carry yourself, your energy, your aura, it does give like very strict program. It gives I don't play. It gives I take myself serious. I have a lot going for myself. I'm very accomplished. People might look at you and assume that you have a lot of money, or that you just are super successful, and really you really might just be a regular person. But again, your aura is very powerful and it speaks for itself. And so others who want to be like you are inspired by the fear and anxiety that you induce. I'm also getting the vibes that you might not date that much, or you might be, again, there's this energy of being very picky and very particular about who you give your energy to, and people are inspired by that, especially people who feel like they was just giving it out at one point, like people who feel like they need to reel it in, or people who feel like I just saw living on the clock as on the timer. Okay, that might be significant for you guys, but there's this energy that dang, where's like, what was I saying? I be losing my train of thought sometimes. But oh yeah, people who feel like they have just kind of just given themselves over too easily to people who didn't deserve to be in their energy. They're really inspired by your selectiveness. Okay, people want to be as selective as you. They want to kind of evoke the same response as you. Because I'm also getting that, like I said earlier, like people who may be unserious or people who may play around or who are disrespectful, they don't do that with you. So this could also be people who are inspired, who have been on the other end of somebody's treatment. Like, so what I mean by like an example of what this is like, let's say that you guys work together and they asked the manager to give them like an extra day on the schedule, and the manager gave them some bullshit excuse about, oh no, I can't do that for you because X, Y, and Z. But you come along and you carry yourself with this energy, and when you ask to work one day less on the schedule, they're like, of course, no problem, I got you. And so somebody else is seeing that, and they're seeing the different treatment that they receive versus that you receive, and they want to be more like you so that they can get that same level of respect. Another example is like if you are dating somebody and let's say this person takes you on dates and they just wine and dine you, show you a good time, treat you with respect and kindness. There may be somebody from their past who is seeing this, who they never took that person on a date, or they never like were intentional with them, and they see the difference in the treatment that you are both receiving from the same person, and they want to be more like you so that they can get that same treatment, if not from the same person, from other people. It's like this vibe of people like look at you as like a level up guide. You know what I'm saying? So you could be, again, I was saying in the beginning, like your advice is highly sought after. People are very inspired by your advice and by your wisdom. So you could be somebody who people ask for your advice a lot. People like question you about like, how did you do this? Or how did you do that? Or where did you get this from? Or what made you decide to do that? Or like, even in conversations, like if you're venting about a situation and you might be talking about your opinion on something or your stance or on like the response that you gave to somebody after they said something or crazy or whatever, it's like through these types of interactions, people are noticing the way that you carry yourself, and they're like taking notes. Like people are definitely taking notes on how to be more like you. I'm also getting the vibes that you're very spiritually grounded as well, and you have like a strong sense of faith within yourself, but also within like whatever your beliefs are. And I feel like you try to move in accordance to the laws of the universe, okay? And so people are seeing how this has impacted your life. They're seeing how it makes you better. You could also have some type of mindfulness practices or beauty rituals or something that I think people want to have that on as well. People are inspired by that. So people could also be inspired by your style. They could be inspired by the way that you do your nails, the way that you do your hair, your skincare routine. If you do like if you have a certain like yoga or meditative practice, people are inspired by that and they want to know more about that. Like people, you might do glamour magic, or you might do spells, or some type of like attraction spell or manifestation that you do. People are inspired by that and they want to know more about it. Okay. You might also be really good at hiding your insecurities, because I feel like you are human and you have your insecurities, you have your things that you might doubt about yourself, but I feel like you're really good at hiding it, and people are inspired by that. People are inspired by the fact that they don't know your insecurities. They can assume that you have some because you're human, but I feel like people don't know what your specific insecurities are. You might specifically be the kind of person who avoids talking about your insecurities on purpose because you don't want other people to have that knowledge to use against you. Or also you could just be the kind of person who, again, with you understanding the laws of the universe, you could be the kind of person who doesn't like to speak on your insecurities because you don't want to give energy to them. So you end up like you have this energy of like you ignore things that are not benefiting you, or you ignore things that are negative. You're very good at killing them with kindness, and I feel like you also often take the high road. Sorry, I got a phone call, so I don't know if you heard that last couple of things I said, but yeah, people also feel like you take the high road a lot, and you're very mature in the way that you handle conflict as well, and people find that to be inspiring. I get the vibes that sometimes people try to evoke responses out of you, or they try to like just make you upset or humble you or piss you off, or try to get a reaction out of you, like rage base you. And I feel like oftentimes you don't really respond in the way that people expect you to. Like people might try to get you to crash out or try to get you to like get out of character. Okay, yeah. People might expect you to like get out of character or have these like big explosive reactions to the things that they do. And I feel like you oftentimes just will either ignore it or just like cut the person off or block the person, or have like a much calmer reaction than they expect. And so I feel like that is one of the ways that you inspire others as well, is that they want to be as peaceful as you, as non-reactive as you. Okay. and just overall like mature and wise and respected and enlightened. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some oracle cards to end off the reading. So Spirit, what makes pile 3 inspiring? We have 3 cards. Okay, we have still not failing enough. Still not failing enough. We also have I'll be at the other end of the universe acting strange. And then we have no decisions, just grooving. No decisions, just grooving. You know what's surprising is that despite everything I've said so far about how you take yourself serious, you're very intentional, I feel like at the heart of it, again, part of you having that spiritual understanding is that you actually don't take yourself too seriously. It's like this vibe, you take yourself serious in the ways in which it matters, but at the same time, you're not above like just having fun. You're not above being different. You're not above having insecurities. You're not above making mistakes. But all of that, I feel like, adds to your maturity and like makes you appear more human. People feel like the reason why you've gotten to the point that you are now in terms of your wisdom and your maturity is that you're not afraid of making mistakes. You're not afraid of going with the flow. You know how to balance between like being very strict and very serious, and when to be serious, when to be responsible, when to be intentional, and when to just have fun, and when to try new things, and when to get out of your comfort zone, when to take risks. Like you almost have this you have a discernment that's kind of allows you to like steer your life like a ship. Like you know how to sail through rocky waters and calm waters. You know how to do both. Okay, also with this, I'll be at the other end of the universe acting strange. That's what I was saying. Like you are very picky about like who you spend your time with, who you spend your time around. You might spend a lot of your time alone, and people are inspired by that as well, especially people who are afraid to spend time by themselves. Like if you are the kind of person to like take yourself out on solo dates a lot, or just go out to eat by yourself. Like I feel like the fact that we have to call things solo dates is like kind of dystopian. Like I feel like as a society, how do we get to the point where people are afraid to go out in public by themselves? I think that's kind of crazy. But you know, you might be somebody who is, you know, you don't have an issue doing that, and that might be inspiring to people who are like that, who, you know, they feel like they always have to have somebody with them to like do the most basic of things. You can inspire them to like spend more time by themselves. Okay, I feel like you also inspire people to like recover from their mistakes too. Like people might tend to beat themselves up a lot after making mistakes, or after just thinking that something was going to go one way and then realizing that it didn't go that way. You could be the person that instills into them the wisdom that like life is going to keep moving, that they can always try again, or that they can always get back up, or they can always make up for certain mistakes. You know what I mean? I also feel like you're wise because you're not afraid of making mistakes. Like you're cautious and you're picky, but again, if a risk makes sense to you, you're willing to take that risk and you're willing to try new things. You have an understanding that like you have to be uncomfortable to grow. You have to try new things to grow. And like I think that adds to your respect because people have watched you do this. People have watched you make mistakes and still bounce back and end up on top or end up successful. And overall, like it just really adds to like your attractiveness. This is about how you inspire people, but I feel like the fact that you are so inspiring really makes you attractive too, and like people are attracted to you a lot, pile 3. But that's what I have for you. So if you made it to the end of pile 3, then comment wisdom, because there's so much that you have here, but like the main thing that people are inspired by is like your wisdom, the way that you use your wisdom to like prop yourself up in life and to become successful in life, to have respect in life, to just really be who you want to be. Like I feel like you're somebody who has become the kind of person that you always wanted to be. Like I feel like you're the kind of person where like your inner child is very proud of you for who you become. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 3. If you enjoyed the reading, then go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can join the team and catch this vibe. Other than that, I love you guys and I'll see you next time. Bye.